After last weekend's loss, the Cowboys have a lot of uncertainty about their roster moving forward. 7 players make nearly 73% of their salary cap, and they could lose some big contributors in free agency, including Randy Gregory, Michael Gallup, and Connor Williams. So, Shannon, did the Cowboys Super Bowl window just close?
No, they're still a fairly young team, Skip. I think they'll rework some of these contracts. You probably rework Zach Martin's contract, probably give him some of that money as a signing bonus. Same thing with Tyron Smith. Skip, normally your window closed. If you're an older team, your quarterback retires, your quarterback suffers a significant injury. I don't see any of these things. I think the only guy that they might potentially would want to bring back and possibly lose is Randy Gregory, maybe a Dalton Schultz. They're not bringing Gallup back. Connor Williams. You would hopefully they would pay Connor Williams to go away. That's what you're hoping. And
That's the one. Yep.
So Skip, I don't think any of the guys that I see as free agents. Now they could lose a coordinator. They might lose Dan Quinn. Excuse me. Who knows? They might lose the OC, Kellen Moore. But for the most part, Skip, their guys are. This window isn't closed. The question is, even though it's open, ain't nobody coming. Y'all ain't getting nothing out of that. Ain't no breeze blowing into the house. So it don't matter if it's open or closed. Ain't nothing going on. And guess what? You and I'll be right back here next year, and you'll be disappointed again.
So, Shannon Sharpe, the reason that loss on Sunday remains an open wound, a gaping open wound for me, is that I fear the Super Bowl window just slammed shut. It just felt like everything had come together this year, this moment in time, in this football universe. It felt like a harmonic convergence of everything was right. Health, everybody in their prime, the offensive line aging, but still had one last hurrah in it. And because Dak Prescott now makes so much money that he was so overpaid that they're not going to be able to play in free agency whatsoever. And I do believe there's going to be a mass exodus of free. Okay, but there's going to be a mass exodus that you need to try to counteract in free agency. I think they'll lose Randy Gregory, Amari, Dalton Schultz, Michael Gallup, Van Der Esch, Jaron Kearse, who came on strong at the end of the year, Cedric Wilson, who was a nice piece to have just in case you needed an extra slot receiver. I think and Brian Anger was arguably the best punter in pro football. I have a fear that all those guys will be gone. Yeah. And all of a sudden, you're back to what they do, and they've done very well. We build through the draft. Well, can you reload on the fly through the draft? I don't think so. No. So I love 11 from Heaven. I love Micah Parsons. I love a lot of the young players, but now they're going to go from 2-0 because, remember, Ty Smith and Zach Martin, they're 31 years of age in actuality, going on 40 years of age in football years. So I'm just not seeing it.
But let me ask you a question, Skip. Do you believe if they wanted to keep, here's the thing, Skip, the cap means nothing. Because we see guys, they be like, hold on, where you find all this money from? I thought the cap was this. And guys and they sign a $300, $200 million worth of contracts, and somehow they're up under the cap. I just believe that they rework. Skip, I don't believe Amari's worth $20 million. Amari Cooper comes up too small in big games and big moments.
I agree.
Skip, your guy CD did not play well for you down the stretch. There are some situations that you would expect the guy of his talent level to be able to step up. Yep. Skip, he was a no-show in the playoff game. But I think a lot of that had to do with the quarterback. But Skip, your window's not. Skip, Dak is only, 28? So the question is, if you lose some of these. Go ahead.
Dak is dramatically overpaid. And because of that, they've already factored in the increased cap into his contract. So they're going to be up against it, man. I'm telling you, they will not be quite as good next year as they were this year. That's my bottom line.
They're still in that crappy division. So what's going to transpire in that division that's going to make it so exponentially better? What's going on? So what are the Giants going to do? Even if they're going to get a new head coach, you're going to get a new GM, they still got that same crappy quarterback. What are Washington going to do? This quarterback situation is still what it is. What's Philly going to do? I still believe Philly's going to go looking in the market to try to find a quarterback. I don't care what the head coach says. I don't believe I do not believe they're sold on Jalen Hurts. I just don't believe it.
Yeah,
So
it's interesting
next year
you
we'll
bring
get
up
blown
Jalen
out
Hurts.
in another home playoff game.
Oh,
Good.
okay. We
I
don't
like
need to go
that.
to next year
Sounds
yet.
good to
We're
me.
still feeling what happened on Sunday. And by the way, since you bring up the division, Tom Brady, did he actually just troll the Eagles? Welcome to Undisputed. We are live from LA. I'm Jenny Taft here with Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp. How are we doing this morning, guys?
We're doing great. We're doing great.
You know, I'm not doing so great because I have had a really rough week here on Undisputed, Shannon Sharp. So I have one small request to start this show. Just for my sake, could we please pretend for just one day that my Cowboys actually won their playoff game, just to make it feel a little better, a little cheerier, a little happier on this show?
What make-believe place do you think we are? This is Undisputed. There is no make-believe. There is no pretend. We deal in harsh realities, and your Cowboys stink.
Well, I dreamed last night that they won the Super Bowl, so let me hang on to my dreams. Thank you.
Oh,
Good.
boy.
It was only a
I'm
dream.
sorry,
And
Skip.
you woke up this morning?
And now I got to
Only
deal
a
with
dream.
you.
Yep.
You woke up this morning, and then you have to realize and remember that Dak Prescott had a lot to say following that loss. So we need to talk about it right now, guys. He took some heat earlier this week after endorsing fans throwing trash toward the officials at the end of the Cowboys' loss, saying, quote, "Credit to them." Yesterday, the QB tweeted an apology, writing, "I was caught up in the emotion of a disappointing loss, and my words were uncalled for and unfair. That was a mistake on my behalf, and I am sorry." And we talked about this yesterday, but Shannon, did you like the apology, or did you have an issue with it, what you heard from Dak?
No, I like the apology. I just wish it had come Sunday night or Monday. Skip, remember when we addressed this on Monday, I'm like, I am very surprised he has not already issued an apology, knowing that what he said on his way driving home, I'm sure his phone was ringing off the hook like, "Dak, are you sure?" His agent probably reached out. There are representatives that probably say, "Dak, you probably need to issue an apology sooner rather than later." So I am glad he came through with this apology. It seemed very sincere to me. And Skip, the reason why I got so upset, because him saying what he said seems so far out of character for Dak Prescott. He doesn't strike me as a guy. He's very, very measured in his responses. There have been times he could have lashed out, but he seemed very measured. He seems very thoughtful. And so this seems so far out of character for what I've known him to be since he's been in Dallas. I was shocked. Now, the NFL Referee Association came out with a statement, and they strongly rebuked what he had said. So maybe it was them saying what they said brought about a response for him. I'm glad he said it, Skip. I do believe his apology, but he's going to have to understand he's under a different set of rules. He's under a different set of regulations. You can't get caught up in the emotions as the face of the Dallas Cowboys, as the quarterback, and the emotion of the game, bro. This is what you do. This is the Cowboys. They have 26 years of this. You're going to end your season is going to end in a big old flame in dramatic fashion, and it's probably going to be in disappointment. You remember your rookie year? It happened. Do you remember some of the games that you've had? It's happened. He needs to do a better job of being the leader, of channeling and understanding that losses come along with the territory. You're not going to always win. You're not going to always be in a situation, Skip, where you're the favorite and things go your way. So I think this is a very teachable moment for Dak Prescott. I'm glad he issued the apology. I wish it had come a little earlier, but I got no problems in what he said, and I believe him when he says, "Hey, I got caught up in the emotion." We tend to do that a lot, Skip. Sometimes when emotion is high, logic is very, very low, and you say things, sometimes you might do things. But always ask yourself this: if the roles were reversed, how would you feel if fans or someone was saying or throwing things at you? And that's what I always try to do. I always try to put myself in the opposing situation and then like, okay, now. So, Skip, I'm glad he issued an apology. I have no problem with his apology, the wording, or anything. I just wish it would have come a day sooner. and then we'd have been 100.
I hear you. And yet, before I launch on this, I preface by disqualifying